discrimination, even though he was, basically kind of that French literary scene. He was still seen as being a part because he was born in Africa, and he was white. He was the term that was used was pied noir, which was basically a way of saying you're French, but you're not from France. And he busted his ass to make sure he could try and get the kind of, as Pete would say, the kind of clout that would actually get him above and beyond just being known as the guy who wrote cute little short stories for, those of his affection. And he ended up becoming an editor for Combat, which was basically a resistance paper that ultimately fell apart just because it realized it had to go with the times and basically become commercialized, which resulted in him leaving. And the reason why I bring this up is purely just because everybody's got to build up their own brand. And everybody in our field, as the one character in The Godfather Part 2 would say, this is the business we've chosen. And we've got to make sure we can actually live up to our field, live up to our full potential. And I know for a lot of us, it's something that we've all had to fight for. I think we all know who I'm talking about in specific when it comes to fighting that fight. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Kenny. And believe me, to all the listeners out there that are still waiting for that story, it's coming, and it's true. I can say that being his roommate at one point in time. So I kind of look at it like all the journalists out there who have finally reached that point, congratulations, you've joined a much larger world, and build yourself up. Make your voice heard. And who knows? Who knows what might happen? As a wise Jedi Master would say, always in motion is the future.
Bars!
That was
all right, Kenny, your turn. Because
the
IE won tonight, so I'm closing out the show.
That's cool. That was a bar, though. Loud ass. All these people in this room. But anyway. Man, shout out to Herm Edwards, who's now teaching journalism classes at Arizona State. Yeah, man. That was a dope day. Mancini hooked it up with those friend reparations. Finally. I won't. Never mind. I'll make that joke off air. I've already made it like 7 times. But yeah, the bro was dope. I'm just glad that Instagram thoughts aren't fully ruining museum culture. And shout out to that MILF that was there earlier with the pink hair. Oh my god. Anyway, sorry, I had a moment of weakness. Yeah. By the way, also, if you go to the Griffin Observatory, get the pulled pork and macaroni and cheese. That shit, it felt like my grandmother was hugging me. Like, that was the best mac and cheese I've ever had.
At the Griffin Observatory?
Yep. Go to the Griffin
Observatory.
The food court.
Wolfgang Puck
Food Court. I mean, it's 8 ounces. It's 8 ounces a plate, so it was like $40 for what we got. But that shit wasn't worth $40. But whatever. People are just smarter that way now, making you pay by the ounce. But anyway, so I just want to say, shout out to everybody who graduated high school, class 2019. Anybody graduating college? Shout out in particular to Lawndale High School's graduating class. My alumni, congratulations to you new and fellow Cardinals who are now graduated and done with high school. Welcome to the fraternity of being a Cardinal, or whatever that means. Just know, especially this class 2019 football team, y'all are some legends, man. Y'all did something nobody else ever done. And you had a parade, and it was beautiful. And don't worry, Coach Clark will be back on these airwaves with the rest of the team, and we will be doing a follow-up. Couldn't get the interview, unfortunately, with the seniors because they're all... So a lot of them got... Some of them got last-minute offers. Shout out to Mark Blocker getting a scholarship offer at Hawaii. Jordan Wilmer's going to Utah. Naki Fiend is going to UNLV. I think a couple other seniors might have got, like, small to, like, maybe a black college. I don't know. I didn't... But I just want to say congrats to all them. I just want to say something to all you high school kids out there who are graduating. It's been 9 years since I graduated high school. And it still shocks me to this day. Like, damn, that went by so fast. And to look up 9 years later, and the journey that I've been on, from being homeless to the motel rooms, the injury I got in high school, like, shit was bad. Shit was not looking good. From working shitty, unbelievable, crappy jobs, working my way out of a JUCO to getting to CSUN, doing all the amazing shit I did in a year and a half. The first year and a half I was there, dealing with the racist bullshit I dealt with, leaving CSUN and literally being ready to just be like, you know what, I'm done with journalism forever. Fuck it, I don't care anymore. To finding the will to keep going, to get back in, and then staying, and then dealing with more bullshit when I came back, and then leaving for 2.5 years, and finally realizing, you know what, I can't end my story this way. Like, I wouldn't have respected myself had I not gone back to CSUN and finished and got my degree there. I could have went to Cal State Dominguez Hills. I could have went to Cal State Long Beach. I could have went to Cal State LA. But it wouldn't have meant anything to me because I didn't finish what I started and I didn't see it through. And I'm telling you, in life, when you're young, you think you got all the time in the world, or you think, you know, this is hard, I should quit. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to not quit, is to see things as a challenge to make you better. Because you'll need that experience to fall back on in life when shit gets harder, because it will get harder. And you think you don't know where you're going now. Wait till that midlife crisis, that midlife crisis hits when you're like 23, 24, 25. It happens. It will hit you. It's a pain and a feeling of not being good enough, a feeling of
going through it,
just not waking up every day and just having that haunting feeling on the back of your neck, feeling like you're not good enough and you're not doing enough. And sometimes you really just got to know, like, you're in the middle of the race. You're running it right now. You don't realize it, but you're running your race right now. You're running your marathon right now. And you got to keep going. If you quit, then everything's derailed. But you got to keep going. The same way you finish what you started with high school, you go into the next phase. And if you're young, so if you mess up, you learn from it, you keep going, but you don't let it depress you and discourage you. Don't let it be the thing that makes you want to kill yourself or hurt yourself or just give up. Like, no. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. So, thank y'all, and have a good night.
Can I just...
Go ahead.
I just wanted to quickly add, because I know this is the first episode I've been on since Kenny graduated, and I just want to give my heartfelt best wishes, and, you know, just want to say that I'm unbelievably happy. As the former roommate.
This nigga nasty.
Like,
he gross.
You gross, bro.
I can't tell you.
Pete's gross. Thank you, Mancini. Thank you, Ryan.
It's and hearing
I'm
you say
just
that,
immature and have intimacy problems.
Don't we all?
So, very, very well said, and, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing where you're gonna go next. So keep fighting the fight.
All right, well, it's my turn to talk. So,
Unmute me real quick.
all that shit was great. All of it was fine. I'm gonna let y'all finish, but I just gotta say, the IE won a fucking chip. I'll never forget all the people in group chats, on IG comments, on podcasts, on this network, co-hosts of mine, people who literally went to battle telling me Jimmy Butler and Paul George were better than Kawhi Leonard. Were telling me that LBJ was better than Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a GOAT, a king. The 951 is on. The 909 is on. Reggie Miller, who are you? I already forgot. Shout out to state schools. Shout out to San Diego State. We are all on, man. The IE is on. The 909, Movell, Riverside, Kawhi's uncle. Shout out to Popovich for being a hater. Oh, Gran Torino, get off my lawn looking ass. I hope you watched Kawhi raise that trophy. Shout out to Drake. Everyone hating on him. The sixth god. He's been believing the Raptors for a minute. Shout out to that one dude. Shout out to that one.
He was a fuck boy.
Shout out to that one.
Now you see.
Shout out to that one Raptors super fan. I forget his name, but he wears the hijab.
Cerv, you see it?
Shout out to him for being a real Raptors fan. I'm not a real Raptors fan, but I am a real Kawhi fan. And so I will say this, man. Kawhi won. Kyle Lowry still sucks. But that's regardless.
That's fucked up.
Van Vliet, half that bench still sucks. But Kawhi is the king. Kawhi is both the king and the king slayer.
He got a ring before
And he got 2 rings.
Ibaka got a ring before Westbrook.
2 rings. That's all I want to say. And lastly, I didn't get to shout this out last week. But also, on the same sphere, the Latinos got a chip. The first Mexican heavyweight championship happened in front of my eyes. I watched Joshua go on the take. So, shout out to him, man. A lot of people say he looked like me. I don't see the resemblance, but I do see the resemblance with the hands because I will mix Kenny Berry and I'll mix anybody. And that's it. That's all I got to say, man. Touchdowns and tangents. Shout out to Kawhi. Shout out to Good News. Shout out to FBC Radio. Shout out to X Squad affiliates. Shout out to me. Shout out to the 909. Shout out to the 951. Shout out to Riverside. Shout out to Chino. Shout out to Corona. Shout out to Eastvale. Shout out to Rancho Cucamonga. Shout out to San Bernardino. Shout out to Fontana.
Don't say shout out to Rialto.
Shout out to Rialto.
You gonna say Fresno too?
Fresno's not naive.
Santa Clarita.
Santa Clarita's not naive.
Fuck out of here with Santa Clarita.
Rialto's not naive.
Shout out to Temecula.
Rialto's not
Now
naive.
you're just running out of shit.
Either way, man.
Hart High School.
Colton, Redland,
Colton.
Upland.
Colton, where my mom's family started. Wow.
Start, North.
Anyways, man, the point is
Take our meat off.
the IE's on. Thank you for tuning in. If you
I'm
can do
gonna
one
beat
thing for
the
this
African
podcast,
ancestry out of you,
Shout
if
out-
you can do one thing for this podcast, give us a review. Hopefully it's a good one. It might not be after this week, especially with me yelling in your fucking ear. But I don't care.
Extra, read all about
Quick
it.
shout out to Caleb, Emily, the Weekend Dream Team.
Okay, I don't know what that means. but all right.
Coworkers of mine.
I was gonna
Coworkers
say,
of
shoot your
mine.
shot,
But
man.
yeah,
That's
man.
fine.
And shout
Yeah,
out to
all right.
AMPM for the 87
Trying to use our
cent
podcast
all
to get you some
fountain
poon.
drinks.
Okay, I see
And
you,
orange
Mancini. I see you.
Mancini
Hey.
has not seen the
As
newsroom.
long as they listen
Hey,
to the
I'm
not a
whole
real journalist
hour
yet.
and a half before, we're good.
I'll follow up when I finish reading the Mueller report.
You need to
so.
go watch the newsroom first by Aaron Sorkin. How about that?
And
I'll watch episode 1 tonight.
No, you watch it all the way through. You binge that.
Bye.
on
shit.
that note, we are out.
Peace.
Yo, my roommate is gonna be so salty when I